right, we're now live. Just gonna. All right. Hello, everybody. Okay, so we're now live on both on YouTube and Instagram. Let me know where you're joining from and how you're feeling today. Happy Friday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. All right, so I'm going to start by introducing myself. I'm Satya Lights. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I am a trauma-informed somatic embodiment mentor, and I am an entrepreneur. I'm a medicine woman. I'm a poet. I'm a writer. I'm a lot of things and nothing at the same time. And so whatever I'm about to share, I'm sharing from different perspectives, my own personal experiences, my studies over the years. And this specific topic is inspired by one of the, so I've been doing a little research through within the community. So one of the community members responded, and I just wanted to speak into, like his stuff, basically, because it's not only his stuff and we don't really have an understanding. So, look, we all want to be productive. We are all creating. We're all doing something throughout the day. We want to create something. We want to be productive. But what is productivity, and how we are actually, by trying to do more, we're not actually being productive. How we are just actually missing the point of productivity. So I really want to speak into that. And all the while people are trying to be productive and doing nothing at all while trying, and how it may be related to the nervous system. We're just gonna explore together. And I hope this supports. If you're not driving, take a nice deep breath in. And if you're planning to stay, just ground yourself, orient yourself into the space. And if you're gonna leave, and if you want to tune into it later, this will be uploaded on my YouTube channel. And so yeah, you can tune into the entire chat later on if you choose to. So welcome. By the way, nobody responded. How are you doing? Where are you joining from? What's happening? Let's make this a two-way conversation instead of me talking, which I love talking. I have no problems with it. But, I want to know if, where you're at, if it's landing and how it's landing throughout the conversation. And also, ask questions if there's any point that you want to ask. Hello, Toronto. Thank you so much. Hello, Wisdom of the Light. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad Wisdom of the Light is in the house. Oh my God. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start by defining productivity, which I Googled it. State of quality of producing something. Quality producing, just there, that's the quality producing. And there is probably all of us. There are times that we try to do more, thinking that we're being productive, all the while not getting anything done. And thinking if we actually push ourselves to do something, whatever it is, we are getting something or being productive, which is not the case. The quality of the production is really important. How do we know the quality of the production is there if we're not even there to actually produce quality stuff? So that is why it's related to the nervous system, and we're going to come to that. So that's the definition of productivity, right? And then efficiency. What is efficiency? And how well you do the task at hand, and how well you use your resources, and your external resources and your internal resources. That's really important for efficiency. So it doesn't matter like what you're producing. We get to find a balance of productivity and efficiency to, and then, being present in the moment with our internal and external resources instead of, which is majority of us, not having enough energy, chugging tons of coffee, and trying to get things, and our mind is running like 25 million miles. And we have all this energy, we have all these ideas, and nothing is being done. I wonder why. I wonder. When you have all these ideas and the energy you're feeling, and then you're pumping yourself with coffee, and then you're like sitting and like your mind is running, and you're like, holy shit, I don't even know what, like, I don't know. Why? Because you're not regulated. Easy. It's because you're not regulated, and you're cultivating even more dysregulation by pumping yourself with like, coffee or whatever it is that we are drinking, right? And um, so one of the main things that I'm going to talk about in what, like what inspired me is about like getting in my head. Like these were the key words that I want to speak into it. So I go and like meditate for a second. Um, so yes, Sean, I'm going to come to that. So he was mentioning this person who inspired this conversation. He was mentioning that he's going out and meditating for a second, and like nature, meditation, great, right? Like coming into a regulation and then going back to the desk and getting into the head. And all of a sudden, hours passing, nothing is accomplished. So, is this a productivity problem? Is this a focus problem? Is this efficiency problem? Is this nervous system dysregulation problem? Is it all at once? Is it lack of awareness problem? So here we're talking about it. And this happens to all of us, like because so this is a result of, I mean, I have struggled, and depending on where we're at with our nervous system. And when I say nervous system regulation, I'm not talking about the momentary, let's go take a breath and regulate ourselves regulation. I'm talking about the deeper root cause, like, really regulating and going all the way to the past and regulating ourselves from there kind of regulation. Which is one in the same, but it takes more time, and it takes however long it takes. You cannot push it. That's the thing. And the more we push it, we're thinking that we're trying to be productive, and we're not. So it's actually, we're just like, the freeze response is a lot of sympathetic energy, a lot of like, oh, I know what I want to do. I have this, and then the dorsal vagal, and like that, like pushes onto itself, and there's no one's moving, but you have all the thoughts happening in your mind, and you're like, I should be doing this, and then you go, and if you're not collapsing, which is a functional freeze, you're doing something or trying to do more of things that doesn't really matter for your actual productivity. And all this time passes, here we are, nothing. So this is the energy that like we want to address. That we want to address the root, because what is creating the lack of focus to begin with? What is creating this like, I can't move, I'm not like accomplishing anything to begin with? So I'm seeing a bunch of comments. I'm gonna come to that. I'm not reading it right now. So I just want to make my point. Today's going to be short. If you see it, I'm in a total different space today. So, and it's Friday, and it's Friday. But I want to talk still, even if it's Friday, I want to talk about productivity. So maybe we can choose something else this Monday, coming Monday, right? Like beginning of the week. So how do we address this? Definitely trying to do more and adding more on your schedule is not going to support you, because it's not ultimately not it's not the lack of, like the stuff to do in your in on your schedule, right? Like it's not like it's too much or too little. It's nothing to do with that ultimately, because if we are productive, what we said, the productivity, like quality of producing something, if you're focused, if you're regulated, if you're present, and if you're, less distracted in this day and age, I literally, when I'm working, I lock my like entire like app locks, and that's like what I'm supposed to do. I do, and then like I communicate. It's not like, oh, let me just check my Instagram. No, 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 no. It's like so much information. And honestly, what's happening in your nervous system is not really needing any more information. Trust me. Trust me. So really focusing and really creating a an environment, and really understanding what's really happening in your system. Because, when you're actually in this space of, oh my God, I'm sabotaging myself, I'm not accomplishing anything, and, like all the things that I have to do, da, 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 your mind is just like going. And what is actually affecting your mind to go that way and thinking that you're sabotaging yourself is the state of your nervous system. The state of your nervous system affects your thoughts, your relationship to time. Oh my God, like I gotta do it. I gotta be fast. I'm so late. I'm behind. All these experiences are actually the dysregulated nervous system signs. And for me, I'll give you an example. For me, it was actually so hard for me to actually chill and rest and enjoy, because why not? Because we think if we do something, and there's another conversation of like, if we do something, we are connecting our worthiness into the amount of productivity we have, right? And then because you're not producing, if that's the case, and then you're unworthy, and then you're like just looping in this thing, and you're like stuck in time, and you're like, what is happening here? I'm doing all the things, I'm meditating, I'm taking a hike, why this is not really happening? So this is the freeze that's happening. And how do we actually take action? And then people, it's the procrastination, right? Like what is procrastination? We got to also actually look into that. It's not like productivity or, like you're lacking discipline kind of thing. Like procrastination, I think it is a symptom of nervous system dysregulation. So there's nothing wrong with you ultimately, and you're not like, um, you know, um, I mean, there's nothing wrong with you ultimately, right? Like there, you are just not aware what's happening in your system, and you don't have tools to understand it, and you're just creating a whole new, whole different story of what is actually happening. And how do we work with this? Okay, this is what's happening. We're in freeze. We have a lot of energy. We have all these ideas. Our mind is running, 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 running. And I can't do anything. I can't accomplish. What do I do? So, first of all, organizing your mind, right? Like, because there's so much happening. Organizing your mind. Write down all the things, like someone's asking. Okay, on YouTube. So, um, what is most important, right? So we got to be efficient, like you said, you're using our resources well, and we want to be quality producing, right? Like efficiency and productivity within the time frame that we have, instead of getting stuck and not doing anything. So, and then we know that's like what is actually most important, and then bit by bit, small portions, instead of trying to do all at the same time. Because remember, there's a whole distortion happening with the amount of work that you put in your mind, because ultimately what's happening is there's like this distortion, all this work, like that creates a lot of like energy. Or it's like, oh my God, I'm just so close to this time, because time distortion. and the amount distortion happening, right? So instead of operating from that and going into that like response of like, we are just breaking things down and breaking things down and actually getting productive and efficient, even if you don't get everything done, is better than getting nothing done. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? So, taking one tolerable step at a time. We talk about this titration, and Peter Levine in like the entire somatic experiencing modality. He talks about titration. So taking tolerable steps at a time, and if it's and then like this whole chunk, like, so you can set up a time and okay, I'm gonna do 15 minutes of deep work. And in that 15 minute, no matter what happens, I'm not like looking at anything, and I'm going to be productive and efficient in that 15 minutes. And check if that 15 minutes is maybe, like maybe short. So you get to actually work with the energy that you have instead of getting out of your window of tolerance. Because what happens when you're out of your tolerance, you go like and freeze, right? So like our ultimate goal, we want to stay in the window of tolerance. Our ultimate like overarching life goal is expanding our window of tolerance. But in this moment, to do that, we got to actually first work in the window of tolerance and understand what is our window, what is our capacity. Because ultimately, the entire lack of focus, procrastination, and like being less productive, all of that is a sign of you just not being regulated, getting out of your window of tolerance, not having capacity, right? Not having enough capacity, trying to like move beyond your capacity, and you're stuck in those like survival stress energies. So our intention is to stay in that window of tolerance while we are doing, okay, I'm going to do 15 minutes of chunks. And when you feel like, so we gotta also learn about this energies, like like if you feel like tired, or like when you feel like you're on your edge energetically, take a break, 5 minute break, breathe, come into your body. You can do some tapping. You can like depending on where what you're feeling, there are different practices to bring energy to your body, right? And staying focused to that time period and to that specific tiny task, like that tolerable step. And then watch if you're actually having focus problems or actually, like your capacity problems happening. And within this process, you got to be really gentle with yourself. And I know our day and age in this, like the industries we're in, they always want like what they want in this space. And then like we're overworking. And what's happening is like there's this whole thing called functional freeze. It looks like we're getting a lot done, like while nobody's home. Like I just recently read an amazing article by this woman. I may actually share it. It's like really like talking into what's happening in the functional freeze. It looks like everything's okay, but nothing's okay inside, really. And we are just like really pushing against and beyond our capacities. So really chunking whatever you have and working with like small bits at a time is going to support you, and really also learning where you're at, how to address your nervous system, where your nervous system is, what does that even mean to be in freeze? You got to be learning about these things, because education and knowledge is actually power. So you can know what energies you're working with instead of constantly saying, oh, I'm sabotaging myself, oh, I'm not worthy of doing this, oh, I'm an idiot, oh, I'm so this and that, like making like these coming into conclusions about yourself. Instead of doing that, it is advisable to actually learn about our like like physiological, like like things happening inside of our body, our diets are affecting, how your nervous system's dysregulation may be like creating a lot of mental fog. How is it affecting your thought patterns? Is it affecting your emotional body? All of that, these are all important for know thyself, right? So I'm gonna go look at the picture, the questions, pictures, the questions. But also, there's one more thing. If you're noticing yourself in that energy, just like small, tiny practice for you. So you feel like there is a lot of like energy that you want to move and get stuff done, and then there's also like I can't move, or maybe you're just slowing down and dozing off. Like that's collapse. Like you're like really going even down, even like less energy, no energy in the system. And when that happens, you got to really work with that. Like you got to take a nap. Like if it's that's the case. And or like as we cultivate capacity, when we notice we're collapsing, you can actually learn to bring energy. You can do a little tapping to the body, like really feeling the sensations that's happening in the body in that moment. Because tapping will bring, like, activate some energy in the body. So as you, and then though, what happens with freeze, we talked about, there's also sympathetic energy. Sympathetic nervous system is active, right? It wants to go through, like you have all this energy. And then now you're bringing energy, you're activating, but you may also have so much energy. And then what we're actually doing, someone's asking about the food. When we are in this state, we think we don't have energy to do things, and we just drink tons of coffee. And you know what's happening? You're just giving more stress and more stress to your adrenals. And then this is the reason the entire, like Earth, all the people, 9 to 5, like 98% of the people, adrenal fatigue. Why? Because we're thinking we don't have energy. We have energy. It's just locked in. We don't know how to move the energies. We don't know how to, like, work with those energies and heal ourselves so that we can actually move through life. You wake up in the morning, you do your practices, you don't need to drink coffee. You're like already, you have that like vibrant life energy already inside because you ate well, you're moving well, you're breathing well, you're eating well. And if you still want to drink coffee, but not to like drug yourself. And sometimes we need coffee. I love coffee. I stopped drinking coffee, but I love coffee. um, okay. I'm going to go to the questions. I see some stuff going on. Okay, let's go. Toronto. Hello. Someone says everything happens energetically inside first. I mean, that is true. Everything is energy. So, healing nervous system chaos versus true nature creation. I think you were speaking into something that I was saying. Wisdom of the light, yes, belief system is extremely important. That's why, like, I love holistically really approaching all of this, because ultimately, the dysregulation of the nervous system keeps you in the negative thought loops. Like, in order to really sustainably change your also belief systems, it's also, we got to release those energies too. So it's like working with all of them together. And yes, I agree. I love. And this weekend, for those of you who want to change their belief systems and do some mind renovation, I am doing an amazing workshop. It was supposed to be an hour. I think it's going to go a little bit more, because today when I was doing my morning walk in the woods, I got really inspired. Like, some good stuff is going to come for those of you who are interested in really, it's like checking where you're at with your belief systems, how you're limiting yourself, how you're holding on to your limitations, and all of that. And also, really going into a full on cosmic galactic cleaning, clearing, and anchoring new stuff, new belief systems in your nervous system and in your mind, in your field. Come join us. It's going to be epic. I'm working with some new energies myself. Becoming in a state of regulation as a baseline. Capacity needs to be cultivated, takes time and sustained effort. Yes, on frequency. That is exactly what it is. And I was saying in the beginning of the conversation, it's not like, oh, I'm doing all these things, I'm doing meditation, and why it's not being regulated, why I'm still there. And like this work, first of all, it requires a certain level of understanding of the nervous system, like the states of the nervous system, where you're at, and really actively working with it. And also, it happens when it happens. It really happens when it happens. It's not like, oh my God, and then it doesn't mean that once you're actually, life continues to happen. So there's like constant like feedback. And when was it? Like last week, something happened and like I was overcapacitated. I was like all day in freeze. Ugh, you know? So, and what do? I work with it. So we're human, and then there are times like, oh wow, like and I don't know if I actually talked about this. There's like space opening in my body, in my hips, and like in my heart, back of my heart. I released amazing amount of like pain, like recently, very recently. So it happens when it happens, when it's ready, when it's ready. All we get to do is we show up for it, we actually befriend, and we cultivate a whole new relationship with the energetics. And instead of going at the speed of what society and the world tells us to go, we go at the speed of our nervous system. And then watch the magic unfold, ladies and germs. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. They don't really mean what they want to do. They also hold people back. Wisdom of delight, I'm gonna agree with you there. Also that is like, are we really connected to what we're doing? Like what am I creating? Am I believing in that? Is this really what my heart's desires? And there's also like your soul is like, is this like, how can you ask? Is this really what you want to do? And if that's your real like calling, the regulation and the showing up, and like all of that stuff will fall into place even quicker. In my case, that's what happened. Oh, 1 second. Clearing energy is also beneficial. Can you talk about food and nervous system regulation? I mean, like I always talk about this. All the systems are like of the body are working together. The lymphatic system, this digestive system, immune system, and nervous system, and like endocrine system, right? Like all of them are working together. And what we eat is who we are, and how you're supporting your what you're intaking into your body. We talked about coffee, like when you're in those states, is it helping you, giving you more energy? No, it's actually keeping you more stuck in those states. Sugar, and depending on the like inflammation levels of like what's happening. So, and a lot of the nervous system dysregulation also brings forth a lot of chronic pain, chronic diseases and stuff. So they're all correlated. That's why it's really important for us to eat clean and pay attention to what we're eating, and also detox. I'm a huge fan of fasting and detoxing, like for years, like that's my thing. And really continuing detoxes, fasting, not eating after a certain point, really having like checking the inflammation levels that's happening in our body, moving the energy like in our bodies. So it's all connected. Um, so the food is going to definitely affect your nervous system. And I'll give you an example for myself. My body is not a fan of me eating gluten. I'm not I don't have intolerance, but my body doesn't love it. And every time I eat gluten, the next morning I am super dysregulated. It takes me like quite a while to really come into my center. So it's your body, right? So how do we actually learn how to use this quantum machine, the computer that we're in, and actually nourish accordingly? Nourish. I love that word. Nourish. the I could bring up, oh my God, medical medium is my jam. Oh my God, I love celery juice. I've done the liver, I've done a lot of his detoxes, and I still use his recipes. For those of you who do not know, go type medical medium and go see um, the page. He's also hilarious. Oh my God. Laziness is really different from procrastination. Mm. Honestly, I don't know how I define laziness, because you may be experiencing like deep nervous system regulation and a lot of trauma in your body and think that you're lazy. You're not lazy. I mean, we're not lazy. If your mind is clear, if your body is like, if you're present, if you're healing, if you're supporting yourself, nourishing yourself, drinking good, supporting your body and spending time in nature, really intentionally doing this work, you're in your body, you're not lazy, because there's so much energy. God wants to move through you. The laziness is the blockages. Procrastination and laziness, I do believe it's like a sign of like deep not being in the body. That's my personal opinion. I don't think we're lazy. We can choose, we can choose to, not do things and, like be lazy for a moment, but we are not ultimately lazy. We have life force energy if we're actually learning to like work with it. And um I mean, check your human design also. Maybe you don't have any motors and no energy system, like the energy in your system, and then work with that. There's so many different ways to learn about yourself. And instead of saying that you're lazy or you're procrastinating, I would highly first recommend to actually learn about your nervous system, learn about your traumas, and change your diet. And detoxify yourself. Detox. I mean, I'm going to say one more time, detox. So happy to hear the supports, you guys. Amazing. Thank you for your comments. Mhm. Okay, I am a human design 4/6 generator, sacral generator. I'm a double Leo, and my moon is Virgo. What else do you want to know? I'm all into gene keys and stuff. I'm a generator. I have a lot of energy, and when I have energy, I have energy. The sauna for detoxing is a really great idea. Fasting for detoxing is a really good idea. Liver detox, liver flush is a really good idea. Salt flush is a really good idea. Enemas are a really good idea. Coffee enemas are a really good idea. I wouldn't put coffee here, but there. Oh my God, so amazing. Okay, another question here. What to do if so being far behind your goals is a trauma response, and like that's the distortion in time. You're not late. It's just there's a part of you that like your mind is moving certain degrees, like at a speed, and your system is not moving. So the actual um invite is to really align with it and then take action, taking aligned action, of course. Like we said, small, tolerable steps instead of not doing anything, learning about the window of tolerance, learning about the nervous system, learning about cultivating capacity, holding more energy, holding more light in the body, cleaning the trauma, and processing the emotions so that are stuck in the body, emotional body, all of them, all of them, all of them. And you know what? Let's talk about business. My course, Be Your Own Medicine, is all about this, guys. So I'm teaching Know Your Nervous System module. The first module is actually teaching you about uh, how to know where your nervous system and the energetics that are currently happening in your body is, and learning regulation tools, micro tools to actually like, oh, this is what I'm feeling, so this tool may be really good for this, because ultimately nervous system regulation, like regulating, are you up regulating, are you down regulating, what are you doing, like those are really important to know. So I'm giving a bunch of micro practices within the course, and to really teach this work, and it takes time, and it's a lifelong work, but there is a full regulation that you can get to. But also, I'm seeing something, I'm going to respond. But life continues to happen, right? Like, so we're constantly expanding our capacity for life, for aliveness. And the second part is shadow work. You know how I am all about shadow work, the inner child work we talked about yesterday. If you haven't tuned into yesterday's live broadcast, I highly, highly, highly recommend. And the emotional literacy, really understanding the language of our emotions as our superpower, instead of being like, oh, like I'm so emotional, oh, this is so emotional, or whatever, like having a whole new relationship with our emotional body and our emotions, and using it to actually relate to life on a whole new level. And then the subconscious mind, really going into the belief systems, like we talked about earlier today, going into the belief systems. And I'm also teaching self hypnosis for you to actually work with your subconscious mind and rewire yourself and reprogram yourself, or deprogram yourself, which usually what we need to do is deprogramming, first unlearning everything that we have learned. So this is like a really holistic approach to deep healing work. If you guys are interested, it is 35% discounted in this moment, maybe a little more, but the price will change at the end of May. So if you're interested, go check it out. If you have any questions, DM me. I am the one who responds to the messages majority of the time. So yeah, let's have a chat. And if anything that I'm sharing, this is an ask, if anything that I'm sharing, whether it's the live broadcast, or the little reels, or whatever it is that I'm sharing, if it's supporting you, please, please, please go ahead and share with the people who think they may benefit from these kind of information, and really spread the love, spread the medicine. And what else? If you're interested in doing one-on-one work with me, there are application forms on my Let's Go Humanity. Oh, so true. Let's go, fam. On my links. And if you're interested in getting my newsletters every Wednesday, there's a link. Sign up for my newsletter, Living Light. I'm writing different things every week. And then, like we talked, there's the mind renovation happening this Saturday in the portal. If you're interested, come join us. It's going to be an epic workshop. And yeah, thank you for being here. And I will see you Tomorrow. Tomorrow, before my actual mind renovation workshop, I will come online and share some stuff. And then we're going to go into the portal. So I would love to see you in there or somewhere around this field tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here. I saw something here. I'm going to. Okay, hold on. I'm not going to respond because this is going to go even over and I have a session. Amazing. Oh, okay. Thank you for responding to her question. Wisdom of the light. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you guys are here. I love you so much. I hope what I shared supported you, and use those micro practices, and titrate small chunks at a time and big chunks at a time. Love yourself. Bye bye. Bye bye. Okay.